What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Queen Bees episode 3. And hopefully, subscribe, like, comment, share it to friends and loved ones. Sorry if I'm speaking a little bit slow for this video. I accidentally cut a part of my lip. Just a tiny cut. Whoa, calm down, Sleepy. That's a little bit too graphic. I'm just saying, I was shaving, my face, the stash, and boom, I messed up. I got you could say I was overconfident. Yeah, going back to the game. There we go. With that gross trivialization of our community circumstances hanging in the air, we make the final descent. Okay. Gosh, I love the art style. I just do. I'm enjoying this game. Beauty. The art is just wow. Within the gloomy confines of the trees, the clement weather of the valley feels a world away. I could be told night had fallen and I would believe it. Hoping to find some kind of reassurance, I look up. The blue sky is still there, but bordered on all sides by a tattered frame of black foliage, it appears terribly remote. Far from being reassured, I only feel the bleakness of our present environs all the more keenly. I hear Switch clear her throat in a pointed manner. How did it end up like this? She snatches a black leaf from a low-hanging bough and twirls the stalk between her fingers. It's not natural. We don't know what's causing it, but it's gotten especially inhospitable in the last few years. Almost nobody is willing to travel through it anymore. Almost nobody? It's stupid, but there's supposed to be an incredibly beautiful nymph who lives somewhere amongst these trees. That's not so stupid. I've run into a few powerful spirits and the like in my time, and more often than not, they're beautiful as well. I guess there's no smoke without fire, I suppose. Anyway, every now and then, one of the young guys will set off looking for this mysterious beauty. And never return, right? I wonder what happened to them. Casually, but quite suddenly, Switch draws her sword. There's more in this forest than lovely nymphs at any rate. Monsters. They're hemming us in. I can't see anything. A slow, stupid part of my brain tells me she's just kidding around, and I almost laugh. Switch takes in at the strange expression on my face and seems to interpret it as fear. Maybe that's what it really is. She gives me a reassuring thump on the arm. Don't worry, they step out of line, I'll give them what for. She holds her hand over the blade of her sword and mutters a chant in an unfamiliar, flowing language. Whoa, flashbang! Dang, Phoenix must be on fire. The blade begins to glow with its own white light. The light drives the gloom away and sends a shudder through the things that lurk within it. Even I have a sense of their presence now. Yeah, that's rattled them. Magic? They must be having the same reaction. We're all just bumpkins to you, but they won't stay cowed forever, will they? Probably. Sorry for the background noise, I'm like moving with my chair. Probably not, and we're going to be the ones at the disadvantage if they attack us here, among these close-packed trees. Whoa! Okay. I look around and spot an area some ways ahead where the trunks appear less densely packed. Oh, sorry again? I think there's a clearing yonder. I see it. It's got to be an improvement. We're gonna make a run for it on my mark. Run, you say. Just move as fast as you can. I'll cover you. I swallow something hard. Whoa, sus, and force myself to nod in agreement. Ready. Go! We break into a sprint, zigzagging through the trees and leaping over fallen branches. Wait, am I recording? Let me double. Yes, we are. Thank Christ Almighty. The speediest gait I can muster with my crooked leg makes for a truly unsightly display. But I don't have the luxury of worrying about my dignity right now. I really am scared. Only my surging adrenaline is keeping me ahead of the hounds and in pace with Switch. Okay, let me just move the mouse here so doesn't look like it's a distraction. We emerge into the clearing, home to the remains of a woodcutter's cabin. Switch skids to a halt. I overshoot her and she plants the sole of her boot against my backside and shoves me out of the way. Ew! I recover and spin around just in time to see our pursuers burst from the tree cover. There are two of them. They're walking trees? Not quite. They're humanoids with withered, blackened bodies identical to that of the trees, evoking the same eerie decay. They're moving, but aside from that, they display no signs of life as I understand it. It's as though they're puppets, suspended by invisible strings from the black bows that loom over us. Is it bow or bow? They must be the product of some vile magic. Perhaps the very antithesis of that white light emanating from Switch's sword. They're uncanny in a way that exceeds the meager scope of my life's experiences. But Switch doesn't break a sweat. In a heartbeat, she is in their midst. Whoa! Yo, this Switch is she's an amazing bodyguard, or an escort. The sword of light flashes about her, and with the 1-2, 1-2, they're both in pieces. He made quick work of them. Yup, it's a little anticlimactic. I agree on that one. Otto. Is it over? Yep. Scrapsuit monsters are usually pretty brief affairs, at least in my experience. Either you're faster than them or they're faster than you. And I'm pretty fast. And there's only two of them. It looks that way. It's strange. I thought there were more as well. Well, if there were others, you probably saw what I did to these two and went right back into the filthy holes they crawled out of. Switch gives a contemptuous scoff and sheathes her sword with her usual practice motion. Let us press on with all due caution. So she says, but I'm still sitting on my ass and I'm not sure I can remember how to use my legs. Come on, back on your feet, pilgrim. She extends a hand to pull me up. I extend my own hand, and at that moment, I see something in the branches above us. Something... No! All I see is a movement. Being made of the same stuff, they're perfectly camouflaged. Switch! Following the direction of my eyes, she spins on her heel and steps back, freeing her sword in the same motion. But that's as far as she gets before the third monster drops out of the trees and crashes down on her. Son of a bitch! Hang in there, Switch! I'll do something about this one! I scrabble across the clearing and seize what must have once been a woodcutter's axe from the remains of the cabin. I bring it down to the monster's back as hard as I can, and it promptly snaps in two and comes apart in my hands. It's completely rotten. Damn it! Oh! The two monsters switch. Put down earlier seems to have made a full recovery. They're coming over to assist their comrade. Just how is that possible? They were cut into three. Haha, what's two more? I toss away the remains of the axe and throw a kick at the nearest monster. It doesn't seem the slightest bit bothered. I might as well have kicked the chief's anvil. Through a cooperative effort, they managed to undo the vice grip Switch has hit her to maintained on her sword. It drops out of her hand and they hoist her into the air. You fiends! What are you planning? I snatch up the sword and swing it with abandon at the monsters. Uh-huh? I cut through nothing but thin air. I seem to have misjudged the distance somehow. My opponent's unoccupied hand cuffs me My opponent's unoccupied hand cuffs me across the jaw with more force than I thought those stiff-looking limbs would be capable of. I'm sent sprawling across the floor of the clearing with a taste of iron filling my mouth. I shakily get to my feet, my head spinning, but the monsters are already off into the trees with a furious Switch in their clutches. I waste no time in giving chase, but the forest seems to part to The forest seems to part to allow them passage, only to close in for me. My pursuit is quickly thwarted. Before long, I lose sight of them completely. I can't catch up. Damn it. Yo, what about Switch? No. We lost a companion already. Damn. I trudge through the interminable sea of trees in what I can only guess is the right direction. My head aches, my face feels hot and feverish. My legs are stiff and my feet are sore. I spit and find my saliva red with blood. On the inside, a sickening chill eats away at me, a torpid concoction of anxiety and shame. That pure animal fear I had felt when I was running for my life was positively refreshing in comparison. After a period of time I don't care to estimate, I can see the trees thinning out again. Another clearing. I can't have been going in circles, right? Hopefully not. Emerging to the clearing, however, removes all questions as to whether or not it's the same one. It's a nymph. Monsters or not, I definitely would have noticed her. Whoa. Otto, man's abilities is a riz game, you know what I'm saying? Got the Rizik. I'm sorry. I cover my eyes reflexively, but I equally can't resist the urge to peep through them a bit. The bather is not really making any effort to protect her modesty, so I don't feel too guilty about it. What's got you in such a worry, traveler? It takes me a moment to remember what I was doing. My friend was captured by monsters. Have you seen or heard anything? I haven't, I'm afraid. Damn it! Then I really lost them. Nevertheless, I mustn't abandon my search, so I'll excuse myself. Let me apologize again for having disturbed you. Good day. Oh, what a Chad. Base. I turn to leave, my heart sinking again after that brief excitement, when the bather calls out to me. Please don't think me cold when I say this. Eh? But you're better off giving up on her. Sorry, yeah, I was about to say, no way, Jose. She saved our life. We owe her a couple of things, literally. There's no way I can do that. After all, she didn't hesitate to help me when I was in a jam. True. It's foolhardy to go marching blindly through this forest. You'll only meet a sticky end yourself. You want me to end up with you, as you know, it's still a sticky end if we're gonna be asking. This spring is the only place that hasn't been corrupted. The water is sacred. Say, why don't you take off those filthy clothes and come join me? A quick dip to blow off some steam and cool your head. I turn back to the bather. This time, I don't cover my eyes. I can tell, you're a very cool-headed lady. You have to be to survive in this world. Very cool-headed, yes, but you misspoke just now. Oh? You're better off giving up on her, is what you said. But I never told you my friend was female. Please don't get any strange ideas. It's common knowledge that the monsters in this forest are only interested in women. They're just overflowing with earthly desires, you know. And yet you make a habit of bathing here? Sacred spring or not, that seems like a truly foolhardy idea, my lady. There's no danger whatsoever if you just follow the stream, in and out. Let me reiterate. This is common local knowledge. I'm sure you're worried about your friend, but I implore you not to let suspicion overturn your reason. Okay, I understand. You just came here to take a bath. I'm just being paranoid. I have only one more question. Yes? Where are your clothes? Dun dun dun. But we got her on that one. I beg your pardon? Did you walk here naked? Or are you actually the nymph of the forest? Really now? I never once claimed to be anyone else. Damn! The nymph steps out of the water, large, Gossamer fine wings sprout from her back, and elegant raiments that look as though they are formed from the matter of flowers. Sorry, from the matter of flowers materialize around her voluptuous body. I feel as though I've been reduced in some degree by her mere presence. I feel as lowly as an ass. I think it would suit you well. Huh? What would? She casts a gloved hand airily in the direction of the spring. Take a look. I step cautiously over to the water's edge, keeping my eye on the nymph who idly toys with the long forelock of grass-green hair. I risk a look in the water. I'm an ass. I'm a donkey. Whoa. What have you done to me? You don't like it? It's not what you wanted? Why, traveler, you look positively horrified. I look like a donkey. Oh my, I'm so sorry. I misunderstood you. A matter of homonyms. I think I've got it this time. Take another look. Whatever she's done to me now, it's got to be an improvement. Any comments? I more or less realize that you're playing a trick on me now. If you had actually given me an ass for a face, I wouldn't have the eyes to see it. I splash my hand into the water, obliterating the false reflection. When it reforms, it's my usual dull-looking face staring back at me. Is this a glamour that spirits are said to possess? It's nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Ooh, what a burn! Get wrecked, magic, is what I want to say, but my hair is standing on end just being in this woman's presence. Well, crude beings like us humans can put on a show as well, in our own way. Okay, let me just check. What time are we recording now? Okay, we are good. I grit my teeth and level the sword at her, acting, but not feeling, the courageous hero. Where's Switch? Well now, I wonder. Come on, spit it out. Now, let's calm down. A cool head, remember? Tell me, traveler. Did you lose this gold Switch? Or perhaps the silver one? Neither, but... Hey, even I know this story. Stop screwing around with me. You've no want for screwing, and you've no want for screwing around. Interesting. Wordplay. What an overly serious young man you are. The nymph lets out a long sigh. I really can't deal with your sort. All the others who sought me out were just... Well, I suppose you had better follow me. I'll satisfy your curiosity, if nothing else. She walks off into the forest in a poised and dignified manner. I think she might be sulking a bit. Incidentally, what I thought I imagined earlier was not, in fact, my imagination. The plants and trees really are parting to grant her passage. Not a single leaf brushes the hem of her white dress. I stalk along behind her, swapping the sword between my sweaty hands. We eventually arrive at the edge of a third clearing. In the center of the clearing, isolated from its brethren, is a single tree. What the heck? Is it really a tree? If it is, then it is the most bizarre, the most monstrous I've ever beheld. In sharp contrast to its dreary fellows, it is a riot of vivid colors, and filled as if to the point of bursting with a queasy vigor. As for the shape, while it can, if nothing else, be credited with sustaining the basic form of a tree, it seems to be in the midst of an endless, profane attempt to stretch that form to the absolute limit of tolerance. It is rooted to the spot, but nevertheless, it is in motion. Smooth, yielding motion, constant, without the slightest hitch or friction, writhing, undulating, as if struggling to palliate some unbearable agony. Yes, it is an agony. It has a human aspect to it, and that aspect is surely pain. If it sounds as though I'm struggling to describe it, really, I'm struggling to even look at it. It's kind of disgusting. What is that? In one sense, it is the highest master of this forest, and in another, it is the lowliest slave. A throat that will thirst for all eternity, never to be quenched no matter how much it drinks, though it drinks the finest wine. An endless hell for all the lost souls that surrender their bodies to base desires. Surrendered their bodies. Then those monsters were... never mind that. Why are you showing me this? Is Switch here or not? It looks as though we've arrived ahead of them. They know to steer clear of my spring. They're bringing her here? Then, before they arrive, I brace the hilt of the sword against my flank and advance on the tree. I have a mind to plunge the point deep into its poisoned heart and kill it, plunder it of that loathsome vitality. Besides wanting to protect Switch from whatever foul designs this abomination has for her, there is too a primitive, instinctual part of my brain telling me, this thing should not exist. You must destroy it. Before I can drive the blade home, however, something like a face emerges from the trunk. The something seems to be addressing me. Otto? So great is my astonishment that it brings me to a halt mid-stride. Eomer? There's no mistaking that face. Eomer, my old friend. A fellow who fancied himself a poet and a dandy, but was really just a horny dog. He wandered off into this forest about a year ago, feeding me this line about the spirit of adventure and true romance. But the whole time I knew he was just looking to get his, ding-dong wet. It really is you, Otto. What are you doing in such a sordid place as this, eh? That's what I want to ask. What's happened to you, my friend? I don't really understand it myself, but it seems as though I've become a full member of this charming community. You should stay away from that woman if you don't want to end up the same way. I jump as the nymph suddenly appears at my side. Was she always this tall? You only have yourself to blame, you cur. She approaches the tree and raises one of her long legs, poising it above an exposed root. You made your bed and now you will lie in it. She repeatedly stamps down on the root, a hateful expression distorting her beautiful features. Oh my, it looks like our other guest has arrived. I follow the direction of her gaze and see the two monsters from before arriving with their captives, still marching along at the same merry pace. Switch! Otto, is that you? You're a sight for sore eyes. Get me down from here. What the hell is that? Only you can put a stop to this, Otto. You have to kill me. Eomer's expression and voice are as placid, vague, and vaguely bovine or bovine as they were in life, but behind his large, mooncalf eyes are bottomless wells filled with a deep and alien despair. They communicate something to me that even a poet can express in words. I understand, Eomer. I turn back to him and bring the sword devil with his bland countenance. I prepare to thrust, but I can't. It's not affection for my old friend that is causing me to hesitate. My legs have at some point become bound by thick roots that have sprung out of the ground and stealthily coiled themselves around me. I hack at them with a sword, but not only they're slippery and tough, but paltry wounds I manage to inflict close up before my eyes. Let's just watch, shall we? The nymph's honeyed voice is close to my ear now. I have no choice but to do as she says. Switch, who had given up struggling at some point, renews her efforts upon seeing the tree, heaping curses upon her mute captors as they offer her up to its many writhing appendages. That's awful, man. That's horrifying. This is nightmare fuel. As she is transferred from the monsters to the tree, the monsters, relieved of their duty, collapse where they stand. Their fallen forms look very much like dead gnarled wood. I realize with a thrill of horror that the clearing is full of similar shapes. How terrible the fate of those who sought out the nymph of the forest. I took with apprehension towards Switch, who is now suspended before the great mass of the grotesque tree as though a crucifixion is to transpire. Hey! Where do you think you're touching? Thick, sweaty-looking tentacles bind her limbs, and her struggle to escape seems more likely to cause her an injury than bear results. A roaming appendage winds around her torso and slides under the breastplates of her armor. The garment strains against the intrusion before coming apart with a snapping sound that echoes around the clearing. Ah! The harsh report seems to wake and switch from a state of merely professional consternation. Wait, stop! Ah! He grimaces and groans with mingled fear and disgust as his tentacles continue to prise away her armor, piece by piece, until the warm color of her flesh is entirely revealed. Yo, this is scary, man. Yo, I can't bear to look. As a way to distract myself from the purely physiological steering in my trousers, I endeavor once more to cut myself free of my bindings. In my haste, I succeeded only in making a deep gash in my leg. As if enamored with the taste of my blood, the roots curl further up my legs and lower body, crushing my wood painfully against my thigh. With no other recourse, I try appealing to our captor, who has been watching the scene of horror play out with a disinterested expression. Why are you stopping me? Do you really want this thing growing in your forest? For good or ill, all that grows in this locus are my children. I cannot neglect them. It's nothing but a curse. It's poisoning you. In response to this outburst, the roots squeeze my limbs like a vice, pushing a dog-like yelp out of my throat. Ah, it hurts. This isn't good. Everything's going dark. Oh no, you don't. I'm not letting you die that easily. You've got some nerve, boy, trying to lecture me while you're in that state. I feel her scornful eyes on the bulge in my trousers, causing it to twitch guiltily. Those simple-minded men who are little more than beasts and rot are tiresome enough, but it's men like you who try to hide their base nature behind moral ideals and pretty words are truly beneath contempt. You're wrong. It's not. Even if her mouth is still dribbling those meaningless refutations, her body is being honest. She's right. I can't deny her words. It's ridiculous to attempt to do so when my very body is evidence to the contrary. My face is burning. I feel sick and ashamed. What's the point in continuing to resist her will? God damn it, Otto, no! Eomar, for all his passions, was a fellow more intelligent and sensitive than myself, and even he ended up in that state. What exactly do I have that he didn't? Otto! Jesus. I open my eyes and look up at Switch. This is horrifying, man. She's looking just as mortified as I, but her eyes are still glowering with a defiant spirit. It's as though what was drawn out of me has flowed into her and revived her flagging resolve. Hold out that sword. I'll give it everything I've got. I do as she says and hold the sword out towards her, pulling against my bonds and straining my limbs to bring it even an inch closer. Likewise, she reaches out with her hand. Yes, man, I'm loving this. Her arm twitching and bucking with the effort resisting her binds. That should do it. In a horror's voice, she intones the cantrip. Devoid of its flowing lyricism, but not of its power, it imbues the sword with its sorcerer's light. The nymph shrieks and flinches from the incandescent blade. I waste no time in taking it to my restraints, which are already shrinking away. Freed of my bondage, I drive the weapon into the tree without further hesitation. The monstrosity is suddenly alive with myriad of agonized, ecstatic faces. There are many I half recognize, only ghoulish and distorted, as though glimpsed in a nightmare. They scream in harmony with the nymph, a bone-chilling chorus. Switch falls out of the tree like a heavy fruit and scrambles over to me, placing her hands on mine. Let's go, Otto! Right! Hell yeah, let's get the hell out of here, man. This is scaring the crap out of me. This place is creepy. Shoulder to shoulder, we bear down on the sword. The light seems to double in brightness, and we're forced to squint as we push in on the hill with every bit of our strength. There's a heart-stopping, jarring sensation as the blade snaps, and for a moment I fear all is lost. When I open my eyes, however, I understand quite clearly that the damage we've inflicted on the tree is decisive. The trunk is split entirely down in the middle. and the vitality is draining out of it as though it was a shattered amphora. The figure of the nymph in the peripheral of my vision commands my attention. Through some queer symmetry, she seems to have shared the same fate as her child. She too is rent from shoulder to crotch, her sensuous flesh becoming naught but shriveled old wood, her face twisted into a silently screaming hollowed featured death mask. She was evil. Kinda knew it, she was pretty sus, man. The warped form collapses into a broken heap at the foot of the tree. It's a pitiful sight that makes my chest ache. As a sympathetic reaction, she simply put too much of herself into us. Along with Eomar, or Eomer, disembodied voice, there emerges from the sundered innards of the tree, still glowing from the residual magic of Switch's spell, a number of transparent, non-corporeal figures. This band of ghosts look towards the brutalized form of the nymph, though I cannot discern their faces, they create a singular portrait of shame and regret. Oh my boy, the bard, the riz, the poet, please don't think too harshly of her. This forest is her very soul, and it was once as beautiful as she, but though we do not deserve salvation, it has been granted to us. We're all grateful, Otto. You better be, we almost died, man. The spirits begin to disappear in the slanting sunlight that is now filtering through the clearing mist. The one I recognize as Eomer, or Eomar, is the last to go. I pray your journey takes you far beyond this benighted place, and that the things you seek are good and true. Farewell, my friend. Bye. Finally, he too fades away. Farewell, Eomer. Or Eomar, I don't know. Switch and I are left alone in the bright clearing. With the threat vanquished, the heady fighting spirit that matched me against it begins to ebb away. The morbid shame I had suppressed reasserts itself as plain old embarrassment, and along with it comes the sharp pain from my lacerated leg. I'll try my best to be tough and ignore it until I know Switch is unharmed. I risk a look at my friend. She's sunk to her knees and her bare shoulders are trembling in spite of the warm sunlight. Switch? Are you okay? My armor! My sword! What? They were brand new and expensive, and now they're ruined. Oh, this is the worst. Never mind, she's fine. Thank God. Actually, she might be broken in a more fundamental level, but at least she's unhurt. Why you're just gawking at me with a dope expression on your face? Give me a cloak or something. For a moment, I wonder where I left my pack, before remembering I've had it on my back this entire time. I fish out my rough cloak and drape it over her. Aren't you upset about almost getting, I flounder. Switch draws a cloak about herself and gets to her feet. It doesn't happen as often as some people like to think, but it is a legitimate occupational hazard. Not just for women either. Being an adventurer isn't exactly a walk in the park, you know. You don't have to tell me when it's time to stop this video because we're 33 minutes in. I simply had gone overboard or over time. I'll be seeing you in the next episode or in a different game, I guess. See you everybody, and good luck on whatever you're doing. Bye!